so funny though. So the STS was these phone cards, and you would buy minutes on a card so you could make calls.
Mm-hmm.
What the people were doing, there was some kind of tax fraud in it. I don't know. The company got shut down because but it was huge. I mean, people were going nuts on this because a lot of people, especially Hispanics, were buying it for their people over in Puerto Rico, down south, buying the cards. I'll send you a $50 card. You can call me and talk to me, whatever. And it was great. And like the problem was, again, it got shady. And I was just like, as soon as I could smell it a mile away when people start, selling you snake oil, and you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, where I saw, maybe because I was born and raised in Amway, literally.
Yeah.
And watched an actual company that had values, Christian family values.
Yep.
And I met Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos. I met all the bigwigs. It wasn't, they weren't like the man behind the curtain doing all the magic tricks, right? I got to meet these people that I would see other businesses and go, that's crap. That ain't ever going to work.
Totally.
Or, you get in a business where they're selling you something that's like this fantastic shake in a bottle, you're going to lose weight in a minute. Yeah. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. No. And then the worst thing was, I got in this one, I don't remember what it was. It was, oh my gosh. It was a diet shake. And I really liked it. It was one of those ones that actually tasted good. It wasn't like a horrible, chalk, disgusting diet shake. And I said, look, if this thing works, and back then I was really big on it. If I lost weight, everybody's going to buy it. Right. But the problem was, the guy who signed me up pitched it. And my wife, I wasn't there. She was gung-ho for it, actually, because she liked the product. And he signed her up at the highest level, which was like $5.99 or whatever it was to get in, right? Come to find out, he was only signed up for $49. I'm like, you're a scumbag. You took advantage of my wife. I was so mad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's the same problem. If you don't operate ethically, then the whole thing doesn't work. I mean, it's it's a unique thing where you can get away in a corporate setting without ethics, and to a different degree, without living out your values, because you can put your work face on, you can be competent, you can play politics. But if you're going to actually get involved with people, and you're going to actually be involved in their life and their finances, you have to have real integrity. You have to prove that in your life. You have to live certain values. Your life becomes the testament of what you're doing. And it's a standard a lot of people aren't able or willing to live up to. And that's why this stuff falls apart. One guy's sleeping with other people's wives. One person's embezzling funds. One guy's like saying everything's great, and it's, you have to have the ethics and the integrity, and you got to be honest when you make mistakes. No one's saying anyone should be perfect, but a lot of these people.
I always joke, the greatest multi-level marketing is Christianity, because Jesus was, and then he 12 guys, and then he's built it into millions. But the problem is, as it's grown, parts of it have turned shady.
Sure.
And it when it gets out of control like that, I mean, that's the joy of multi-level marketing, because you are your own boss. And if you want to be a scumbag, you be a scumbag, or you want to be the greatest guy on the planet. Either way, right? So it's just so. That's the thing I love, the entrepreneur spirit. But I also love and I don't know if you put this in your pitch. I've heard it from all the other. Oh, this is a tax write-off. You can write everything off.
Yeah,
it's your business.
They don't let those people. That's illegal. You can't say that.
I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
I have to LLC. Anyway, it's just hilarious. Are you? So you're in New York.
I'm in New York.
Obviously, you've got probably customers and downline all over the place. How do you build your business now? I know how to build it the old school way, obviously, because I grew up with mom going door to door. I was the kid who carried the soap to deliver it to the house. How do you do it now? Is everything done online?
The distribution and the fulfillment is all done online.
Okay.
So whatever the amount of revenue is, $100 or $100,000 or $500,000, it's all done online. So that's all done. You don't have to handle any of the product. You're not shipping it. You're not doing customer service. You're not doing returns. You're not stocking. You're not doing inventory. There is an element, though, that I don't think you can get away from in direct sales or network marketing, where people are buying from you. and they want to have a relationship with you. And the competitive advantage is the connection and, fulfilling needs and being there and putting a note in the bag, so there is some analog. And I think a lot of it, Zoom's great for data, but you can't transmit culture and you can't transmit an experience through Zoom, so I look to do as much as possible on Zoom because time's valuable for everybody to travel and the effort in. But there are certain things that need to be done in person to have team dynamics. You can't live stream a concert and it'd be the same thing. It's just not, doesn't just work. You know what I mean?
No.
So,
and I'm a big music guy, and nothing to me worse is a live album or a video. To me, it does. I've been to so many shows that it just takes it away. So do you guys still do meetings and stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
On the note,
you're still belly to belly out there, huh?
I'm still out there. Yeah, still out there. Still meet people. I got some new people on my team. I met at Costco. A guy did a tent in my backyard for a big party we had. And just you meet people. There's other tools. Obviously, you have social media. You have different things that you can use. But the amount of skills you develop by meeting people and connecting with people the way that people make fun of network marketing people do when it's done properly, those are multi-million-dollar skills in any business. To be able to interface, to be able to connect, to be able to build those people skills, build rapport, build trust. I mean, that's the foundation of all of them,
Do you only do Amway? Is that your full-time thing, or do you have other
well,
ventures?
I have other stuff too. So my first goal was, when I was 17, my dad was in prison. My mom was a single mom. Me and D-Rex started at the same time. We're probably similar age. How old are you, D-Rex?
I just turned 40, so
yeah. So I'm 37. So we're like the same era. So, anyone that's younger, if you're 20, you grew up with social media gurus, entrepreneurship movement, blockchain, gig economy. We didn't have any of that. We're the last generation that grew up where Instagram came out after we were out of high school, so they told me you either go to college or, you're going to be a hobo. I'm like, all right, I better go to college. I'm not good at fist fights under drawbridges.
We were the forgotten skilled trades generation where they basically said, college or die,
That's it.
I mean, there was no skilled trades, and there wasn't, like you said, a gig economy or online was just starting. So
I actually, it's funny you guys say that. I just watched the video where Gary Vee was talking about that everybody went wrong when they were pushing everybody into college.
Totally. Yeah. So I figured, all right, I want to make a lot of money. I don't want to be poor. I've been working full time since I'm 15. This sucks. So I want to make a lot of money, but I also know I want to do something to help people and made a difference. So I figured I was going to go to med school. I figured that's the best I could figure. I didn't want to be a doctor. I want to make a lot of money and help people. I said, this is the best I could figure, So when my friend Matt from school met the guy, told me he met this, and I learned about this, I didn't know what financial independence was. I thought you were either born rich or you worked your whole life. I was unaware there was any other option. So I said, no one gave me this. Like, no one in high school gave me, do you want to work, go to college and work a profession, or retire in your 20s? I was unaware that was available. So I assessed at that point, and I'll get to answer your question, but I said, all right, the best shot that I have, I like this idea. I like working with people. I don't care that most people fail. I'm not most people. The people I'm working with are super successful. If I listen to them and I do the work, I can't imagine it not working. Plus, I got nothing to lose. I mean, what am I going to do? I took my money I was buying pot and beer with, and I bought vitamins, what am I losing here? So I opted not to go to college, and I would have loved to go. For myself, I'm like, I'm really excited about this. I was the father figure for my younger brother. I had to pay for school. And I'm like, if I'm not going to use it, I don't want to pay. But mostly, if a sorority girl knocked on the door, asked me to go to a party, or any of my friends asked me to do any drugs, the answer was yes. So I said, let me just stay home, work full time for a year. All my buddies are done. They're going to take at least 5 years to finish. So I'll catch up real quick if I go a year late. But I said, all right, this is the best option I got. So I looked at it and I said, all right, this is the best opportunity that I can see with no capital, and having someone that's already successful that's willing to teach me, that I can build a big income, and particularly something that can become passive if I work hard at it long enough to some degree. You're not supposed to say passive, so not full time, whatever. Anyway, my first 4 months I started making a few $100. I proved concept. It wasn't like I was retiring from it, but I said I could do this. I want to do this. So I was able to leave my full time job at 25. My wife got promoted and I got fired, and then it caused a little bit of a challenge, So I was doing okay. You're not supposed to talk about income, but hopefully nobody sees it. I was making 60 grand. I was a Q12. I was making enough, but not leave your job enough, But the challenge was I started going on interviews, and I have a tremendous amount of leadership. I'm communicative. I'm clearly intelligent. I didn't know it at the time. I've interviewed a lot of people like this now. but I didn't go to college on my resume. And it's like I basically look like I did nothing, look like I had dead-end jobs. So they basically look at me like this guy must be a drug addict or something, because the only people you talk to that are that talented, they got nothing. So ultimately in every interview, it would end up being like, basically they'd indirectly be like, what's wrong with you? And I'd be like, well, I built $1 million Amway company. They'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's awesome. We're not hiring you. But at least it makes sense you're not a drug addict. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to double down. My wife got promoted. So Callan was able to leave her job in 2019. That was our first real big year. It was more than enough income. We were golden. But to answer your question, I love Amway and I love what it's done for me. And I wouldn't have had developed the skills. I wouldn't be the father I am. I wouldn't have the relationships that I have. I wouldn't have the business acumen I have. I wouldn't be able to do the things I do in professional coaching and different things. So my first goal was to get financially free from Amway, which I achieved. Then my goal became, I want to become financially independent, where based on my investments, if Amway disappears or I don't want to do Amway, I have more enough money coming in from my investments, my other businesses. So this way I'm just diversified. So I do a bunch of different things, but I still do Amway and I love it. And that's my primary source of income. But my goal is the next few years I have at least 50% of income outside and 50% in Amway, which is going to have to be a big number at that point, but that's my target.
What's your other things you like to do that you'd like to be successful with?
So I love coaching. That's the thing I love about network marketing. I don't actually love network marketing. I love what it's done for me. I love the things around it, but I'm not like waking out of bed being like, I love excess. Like it gets me going. Like I like drinking it, but like, I'm not like, oh man, like I love vitamin supplements. Like they're fine. I'm happy to do it. They're good, but I'm passionate about coaching. I'm passionate about helping somebody be able to accomplish their goals, overcoming their limiting beliefs, develop and become the kind of person they need to be to improve their relationships, improve their mental health, improve their finances. So I started like a side thing, which is like a personal coaching type thing, personal, professional, business coaching. I helped a buddy of mine this last year take his company from just brand new, an idea, to 200,000 in revenue this year. Next year should be about 500,000. Helping a guy get out of debt, helping another kid kind of get clarity on his work-life balance, and not just try to work his whole life, think he's going to get Porsches, have some, I just love coaching. So that's one thing I do. There's some other side things we're looking into, some investments, some different companies, part ownership, equity shares and stuff. Some stuff in AI I have some interest in doing. I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of real estate. So just diversifying, You
guys going to stay in New York?
I love it out here. My family's here. I got my beautiful place now. I'm not going anywhere. I have some great friends in DR. So the only thing in New York that sucks is January and February. It's dark, it's cold, it's miserable. So I like to be in DR for 2 months a year, but I got a 1-month-old, I got a 3.5-year-old, I got 7.5-year-old twins. So we'd have to be in a homeschool spot to be able to go that twice. So maybe like 5 years, I'm thinking.
Okay. All right. There you go. Well, not to get political, I see the landscape in New York's a lot different than it used to be. So
yeah, I think a lot of people get really wrapped up in shit that they can't control. It doesn't even really make that big of a difference.
Right. Very
like
true.
I don't know how to tell everybody this, but there's been a lot of Democrats, a lot of Republicans, a lot of people that everybody hates, left hates them, right hates them. You go out and do your thing, man. The things you can control, if you focus on them, are always more important, in my opinion, than things you can't control. It's not that they're not there.
That's a great point. I mean, the landscape can change in terms of politics, but did you go vote? Yes. Okay. Did your person win? Doesn't matter if it was yes or no. You did, but you put your energy where you could there.
You participated.
And now where you can put your energy beyond that. So I mean, that's an interesting point, and it makes a lot of sense. And I think it also is a testament to the grass being green where you water it. Zach and I left the north, at some point, and for me, when I left, it was weather and taxes and all that. But down here, I mean, there's still insurance costs me just as much as the tax money I've saved for moving, probably more. I mean, there's things that are horrifically awful about here that I still wouldn't go back to where I'm from for those same reasons. So I don't think it matters where you are. If you have the mentality that someone else can control what you do or the weather controls your happiness, you're probably never going to be happy.
Right.
That's it.
You always find the negative in it.
The sunshine 365 days down here doesn't really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, October through April are fantastic.
You guys 100%. Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of my friends during COVID moved down to Florida.
Well, let me tell you, here's the problem. I moved here 30 years ago. summer of 95, August of 95. And Florida was a different world then.
Sure.
Okay. Disney was the big game in town. There was still huge orange groves. And,
Cool.
now it's basically South Jersey.
Totally.
I mean, we got houses on top of houses. They're building 9,000 homes here in Apopka where I live. And, it's like they need a light to get out of my neighborhood now. I'm like, I can't even pull out in the morning. It's ridiculous.
Totally.
The other funny thing, talk about taxes. I mean, when we moved down here, my first house we bought for $100,000, 4-bedroom, 3-bath in a gated community, blah blah blah, and my tax was $975 a year, right? But the other day I got my tax bill and it's $3,300. So I'm like, all right, my taxes are going up. I pay quite a bit for insurance, but I also have children who drive on my insurance, so that's going to be changing here soon because they're all getting married and moving out. Get out. And so I mean, yes, could I move back to New Jersey? I'd have to have a phenomenal job. I'd have to go back in the car business, be back in management again. That'd be the only way I could live and afford. And my wife would have to work, obviously. Because we wanted my mom's house, and then I found out like the taxes were like $12,000 a year, and I'm like, I gotta have a part-time job just to pay the taxes.
Taxes are crazy here. Yeah, my taxes are insane.
Yeah, and Long Island especially because it's the nicer borough.
Yeah.
My grandparents were from Brooklyn, so
when I moved here, I saved $60,000 my first year in taxes from both income and real estate, and now I pay $70,000 more in insurance than I used to pay between.
Yeah, but is that your business or your home?
It's everything.
All the combined.
Personal belongings, business, cars, life.
I wouldn't count your business then because that's a different story. You didn't have the business up in Michigan.
Yes, I did. I did have the marketing business. That was an LLC.
Yeah, but you didn't pay taxes.
But not the physical garage keepers, right? So, then again, too. But that's no. You're wrong because my personal has gone up like crazy too. Our 3,100 square foot brand new home on a half acre was $1,200 a year for all our house and personal and belongings and insurance in 2018 through 21. Down here, it's over $5,000 for my 2,800 square foot house. So,
I think
no, you're wrong. Like personal wise too. It is so much more expensive down here for insurance in every capacity. Health insurance the last 4 years I've been paying $1,200 a month,
which it didn't used to be because
no companies want to be here because there's so many people without licenses. There's so many EVs that cost so much money. There's disaster damage. Most insurance companies go through these solar panels, extra liability with roofing. There's so many things that insurance companies pull out of Florida for that your options in your free market get pretty slim pickings. So it does make everything kind of very challenging. So no, I think every single aspect of that has risen like crazy at the same element that taxes have everywhere else.
I think, to be honest with you, though, I saw the major shift change after COVID when everybody had moved down here. And I think, hey, not for nothing. And again, this is not a political show. Derek and I used to be on a political show.
Nice.
And we left it because we realized, first of all, we hate politics. I don't know why we're even on this show.
I love politics, actually.
I don't. I hated it. I
just like when your side wins an election or loses an election, you're either bitter or you're like, cool, I can tune out. So like
I love doing the show. I love doing the show because
the general interest goes down at that point, unless you're literally just loathing over every action that your government takes, like it's actually going to do something for you or against you. I mean, then you have 4 years to do that, and you're not. It's pointless to be on either side of it at that point from a talk and analysis standpoint. Unless you're truly interested in world events and you're able to objectively break down, well, this policy is good long term. I think it's hurting us here right now because we got to do these things. I mean, there's some interesting points there, but people just can't do that lately. As a generality, people get so emotionally attached to the demeanors of people and who they like, who they do. That doesn't matter, man. Like if it's Charlie Kirk or if it's AOC being shot, I'm the same thing, exact same thing. I'm pissed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's horrible. Yeah, horrible.
So I think because of that, just going back to the political thing, it's like we found at that point, it's like, well, this isn't going to be a growth. This isn't going to be a growing topic right now because people want to be so divided, which is a shame that didn't exist before COVID. People weren't as polarized where they're like, oh my God, I can't talk to you because they're different. Seriously? Like you have different religions, you have different skin color, you have different politics. Bro. Like, that's 1 out of 10,000 elements. Why don't you want to talk, learn, and like know someone as a human being?
Crazy.
So what I was saying about the show is I liked the show because it was a actual show where me and my other counterpart, we put on a show.
I get it.
People thought we hated each other in real life,
Oh,
and
that's funny.
we talk to each other all the time. We're great friends. It was a show. We put it on.
Yeah.
He played the crazy liberal, which he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's crazy liberal, but he's
just
moderate.
liberal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I played the crazy conservative.
He's pretty
and
moderate, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, we would go at it but it was for the show, and that was the whole purpose. He loves it. He still does it, and shout out to Trippy. He's a great guy.
Rest
But
in peace.
we wanted to do rest in peace, Trippy. Look at my numbers and look at yours. No, I'm kidding. It's terrible. No, we wanted to do our own show because I wanted to interview entrepreneurs, and I wanted to just find interesting people to talk to. I got tired of talking about the same. It was almost like the Howard Stern show. I can turn on the Stern show. I haven't listened in 40 years, and I guarantee he's talking about the same thing: boobs and butts, whatever. So I just, but I think, and this is just me, and like I said, this is my political thought for the day. I think they saw the massive growth spurt down here, and they said, okay, you guys are coming down from up north. We're going to start pounding you.
Totally.
And the taxes went up and everything else went up.
Of course.
And it doesn't matter who's in office, if it's Republican or Democrat, everybody wants to make money. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. And the funny thing is, now here's the funny thing. If you move down here, like I don't know your house and anything like that, but majority of people I know from up north have $600,000, $800,000, $900,000 homes. They move down here and they can get a home for $300,000. That's bigger than the one they had up north, and they're like, "What the heck?" So the taxes don't, like, they pay $3,000, $4,000 a month.
Yeah, but that has also gone away in many areas too.
Right, but they'll pay that higher taxes, but they don't realize, well, I paid $18,000 in New York, so I'm paying $5,000 here. It's nothing. I remember when we bought our first house and my dad was in the closing, and the guy's like, and the taxes for the year are $975. My dad's like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll write the check for it right now. He's like, that is the silliest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. He's like, how's this town ever going to grow? But now obviously it's a lot more. So, I mean, I don't know where we went with that one, but it's just, I see there is so much that's where I was going. The 30 years I've been here, I've seen such growth here. It excites me because I think Orlando can turn into, or Florida in general could turn into, a really, really good economic state. Mm-hmm. The problem is we've destroyed, by building all these homes, our number one product used to be oranges. Sure. Orange juice, oranges, and cattle. Florida had more cows than any other state in America. Most people don't know that. We were the highest beef distributor than anybody else, right? I don't think we're there anymore. Like, they got rid of it. So what do we have to offer other than entertainment? If Disney moved out of Orlando would go under in a minute.
Totally.
If Universal Studios went out, I think Orlando would be very vastly impacted. Disney would be catastrophic.
Totally. Absolutely.
It'd be like Manhattan sinking. The whole money district is gone.
I mean, it's just a very volatile city, just because there's so many. There isn't a backbone. Like in Grand Rapids, we had automotive manufacturing. At one time they had furniture manufacturing. Then they grew into a medical backbone because we had the DeVos Van Andels.
Totally.
They invested the money, right? So that's what we became. And now there's probably other stuff too, but there's breweries, this number one beers, all this crap. Orlando doesn't really have a backbone other than tourism stuff, and it's so segmented too. Like, yeah, you can find some of the best food here, but no one thinks like, screw that. I go to New York City, right? I mean, it just doesn't have something like holding it together. Like it's just tourism, and tourism ebbs and flows way differently than the rest of the economy, and it also segregates income classes more too. So Disney just reported record profits for parks, cruises, and whatever else it is in Disney World, right? But their attendance was the worst this year since COVID. How does that happen, right? How does that happen? We're building more vacation club rentals for the 1%er. So we don't care about we don't care about, it used to be small businesses are 70% of the economy. Now it's like 60 and dropping, right? So we forgot about Main Street in general. And Orlando's no exception or Disney's no exception where there is no Main Street anymore. It's just catering to the 1%, which is, I mean, that's a business decision. They're making business publicly traded company decisions, you know? So that's good maybe in that aspect, but like you said, culturally or like ethically and economically, it's just not what it seems to be. So I think that's why there's a disconnect too.